When I set foot in the death zone, I realized that time was counting down with every second. If the oxygen ran out, we would have only a brief moment before our bodies could no longer continue climbing. Then, we would collapse, drift into an eternal sleep, and die. At that altitude, there is no room for mistakes.
That was the account of an international expedition team during their journey to conquer Mount Everest, the roof of the world. What happens to the human body when it dares to face the highest mountain on Earth? Located in the Himalayas, between Nepal and Tibet, Mount Everest rises nearly 8,850 meters above sea level. It is recognized as the highest mountain on the planet. Conquering Everest has long been the burning dream of mountaineers around the world. Edmund Hillary and Sherpa Tenzing were the first to turn that dream into reality, making history with their spectacular summit achievement. To set foot on the summit of Everest, climbers must have sufficient experience, certified health, complete gear, and most importantly, guidance from professionally trained Nepalese Sherpas. Each year, the climbing season lasts only from April to May, when the weather is at its least harsh. However, dangers such as avalanches can still strike, suddenly, without warning. The journey up Everest is an extremely dangerous challenge. Since the 1920s, more than 300 people have lost their lives on the mountain. Frozen bodies are scattered across its slopes, and bringing them down is an almost impossible and costly task, with repatriation expenses reaching up to $100,000. Sometimes, such attempts even cost rescuers their own lives. In 1984, 2 Nepalese men died while trying to carry a body down from Everest. Many explorers share the chilling feeling of encountering corpses along the climbing route. Most climbers sign a death agreement, accepting that if they die, their bodies will remain on the mountain forever. The year 1996 was recorded as one of the most tragic years in Everest's climbing history, when a blizzard claimed the lives of 12 climbers. Even for the most experienced mountaineers, Everest remains a brutal challenge.
In the death zone, even the simplest task leaves you utterly exhausted. You have to battle the lack of oxygen eating away at every cell in your body.
Despite the risks, hundreds of people apply for permits to climb Everest every year. So, what exactly happens to your body when you attempt to conquer the world's highest mountain? First, let's explore the route that Everest climbers usually take. Although there are 17 routes, most people choose 2 main paths: the Southeast Ridge route from Nepal or the North Ridge route from China. The most ideal time to attempt the climb is in the second half of May, but the preparation process begins at the end of March. Most teams gather in Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal, at an altitude of about 1,220 meters to acclimatize. In April, climbers will have several acclimatization trips, staying overnight at higher camps. The journey to conquer the summit from the base camp usually takes 4 to 5 days for a round trip, if everything goes smoothly. Most climbers leave Everest in early June. The most popular route is the Southeast Ridge route, which has a total of 4 camps, including the Everest Base Camp. After the base camp, the route includes Camp 1 at 6,065 meters, Camp 2 at 6,500 meters, Camp 3 at 7,470 meters, and Camp 4 at 7,920 meters. There is one principle climbers need to remember clearly: climb high, sleep low. This means you can ascend about 300 to 600 meters in a day, then return to sleep at a lower altitude. So, why is this necessary? What effects could rapid altitude changes have on the body? If you change altitude too quickly, you may experience altitude sickness. This condition can cause various symptoms, such as headaches, nausea, loss of appetite, and dizziness. These symptoms are more common in people who ascend too quickly to altitudes above 2,500 meters. According to exercise physiologist Andrew Lovering, if you were suddenly transported from sea level directly to the summit of Everest at nearly 8,850 meters, the atmospheric pressure would be only about 33% of that at sea level. The air would contain far less oxygen, and you could suffocate within just a few minutes. Therefore, beginners are advised to ascend gradually so their bodies can adjust. So, how does your body change at different altitudes? Normally, when breathing at an altitude below 500 meters above sea level, your lungs contain many types of gases and compounds. The most important among them are oxygen molecules. Blood carries oxygen to nourish every cell by circulating throughout the body. But as you climb higher, the air starts to thin. The ratio of gases in the air remains the same, even at higher layers of the atmosphere. The total amount of oxygen your body can absorb decreases. When you reach an altitude of 1,500 meters, your body will begin to show warning signs of oxygen deprivation. Immediately, your body responds by increasing both the rate and depth of your breathing to counteract the lack of oxygen. Your heart rate also rises, and the heart contracts more forcefully to pump more blood with each beat, helping oxygen circulate more quickly throughout the body. All of these changes happen very quickly. If you continue to climb higher, both your heart rate and breathing rate will keep increasing. During the first few days above 1,500 meters, the volume of plasma in your blood will decrease, which helps increase hemoglobin concentration. Over the next 2 weeks, the amount of hemoglobin in your blood will continue to rise, allowing your blood to carry more oxygen per milliliter. When combined with a high heart rate, this hemoglobin-rich blood distributes oxygen very efficiently throughout the body. So much so that the volume of blood pumped with each heartbeat may return to normal. At the same time, your breathing rate will continue to rise. After a few weeks of such adaptation, the changes inside your body will be enough for you to keep going on your journey. However, you will still need more time to adjust when climbing higher. This often means descending temporarily to recover before continuing upward. Once you are above 3,500 meters, your body is under extreme stress, and the arteries and veins in your brain will dilate to speed up blood circulation. But the capillaries, the smallest blood vessels, remain the same size. This increases pressure and can cause them to leak, leading to fluid buildup in the brain. A similar condition occurs in the lungs, where low oxygen levels cause blood vessels to constrict, leading to leakage and fluid accumulation. These two conditions are known as high-altitude cerebral edema and high-altitude pulmonary edema. Although rare, they can be life-threatening if not treated promptly. Furthermore, when your blood oxygen level drops below a certain point, your heart rate may spike suddenly, increasing the risk of a heart attack. Some Tibetans and South Americans whose ancestors have lived at high altitudes have genetic advantages that help them avoid mild altitude sickness symptoms, but even they are not completely immune to serious complications. Most Everest climbers use oxygen tanks to reduce the effects of high altitude. However, bottled oxygen also has drawbacks. It is expensive, heavy, and only increases the oxygen level you breathe in to the equivalent of base camp air. If the oxygen runs out, your body may not have enough time to adapt to the sudden lack of oxygen. Despite those risks, climbers over the past century have proven that humans can reach heights once thought impossible by scientists, pushing the limits of the human body. After arriving at Everest Base Camp, at an altitude of more than 5,000 meters, climbers typically make several short overnight climbs, each time going a bit higher, to help their bodies acclimatize. To reach the summit of Everest, climbers must also bravely pass through what is known as the death zone. This is the area at around 8,000 meters, where conditions are extremely harsh. The air is thin, temperatures plunge, and the risk of death is very high. In the death zone, a climber's brain and lungs suffer from severe oxygen deprivation, and the risks of stroke and heart attack increase dramatically. When oxygen flow becomes insufficient, the brain can begin to swell, leading to nausea, headaches, and impaired thinking. In addition, the glare from snow and ice can cause snow blindness, resulting in temporary vision loss. Frostbite can also occur when the water in your skin freezes into ice crystals, damaging skin cells and tissue, cutting off blood flow to parts of the body. Frostbite most commonly affects the fingers, toes, nose, and ears, and in severe cases, when the skin and underlying tissue die, it can lead to gangrene. According to the BBC, from 2010 to 2018, avalanches were the leading cause of death on Everest, accounting for more than 40% of fatalities, followed by altitude sickness and exhaustion. Typically, climbers aim to reach the summit and descend on the same day in order to minimize their time in the death zone before returning to safer altitudes. Although the journey to the top of Everest is extremely dangerous, many adventurers refuse to give up their dream of standing on the roof of the world. Mr. Khai Nguyen, a Vietnamese engineer, conquered Everest in 2021, 2 years after his first unsuccessful attempt. In 2019, he was forced to turn back at an altitude of 8,100 meters due to severe health problems, with symptoms such as red eyes, coughing up blood, and oxygen deprivation. He shared, "On Everest, there are moments when you must know when to stop. This mountain does not forgive those who are exhausted, but still choose to gamble with their lives." While Everest is a symbol of the human spirit to conquer, it is also the ultimate test of one's limits. Every step taken at that height is a bargain with death. Those who return bring stories of courage, yet they can never escape the haunting memories. And those who remain forever become part of the mighty mountain itself. It is this harshness that makes Everest the ultimate destination, because everyone knows not every dream is meant to be pursued to the end. But for those who dare to step into the death zone, they have chosen to risk everything for the chance to stand on top of the world just once. Have you ever conquered Mount Everest? Share your journey to the roof of the world with us. And if you are preparing for this adventure, make sure you are well equipped for the challenge ahead. Thank you for watching until the end. See you in the next video.